If you want to use Notion consistently, the most important thing you can do is integrate it into your daily routine. Otherwise, it's just going to feel like a chore. You want Notion to help manage your to-do list and not become another thing on the to-do list. And while that sounds like a simple change to make, it can feel kind of abstract. So today, I'm taking you along with me for the day so you can see exactly how I integrate Notion into my daily routine. So let's rewind the clock a bit. Good morning. I have just woken up. I made my vanilla cloud latte, is what I call it, just as like a pre-breakfast snack. That's like the first thing I always do. Second thing I always do is come straight to my computer to look at Notion. So let's take a peek, shall we? The first place I always start is my Notion home because I can at least see what my upcoming events from Notion calendar are, and I always like to start and kind of map out what my day is going to look like. Now I know I have an event here at noon, and then this one at 3 I'm pretty sure got canceled yesterday, or at least moved. Don't know what that's gonna be like going forward, but I can at least move it off today so I know it's not like on my agenda. So I keep my Notion home pinned at the very top of my page, and then the other page that I always have pinned on Notion, which if you don't know how to pin a page, it's super nice. You can just right click on a tab and pin the tab. So I have my Notion home, and then I have my daily planning page, which is my go-to for pretty much everything. Right away on the left side, I have my daily overview, which I can kind of skim through and make sure everything is looking good, that I don't have to do anything like meal prep over here, or if I have some posts that I need to make on my Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, it's gonna show over here. And then of course I can also see the tasks that I have to do, and then also my workout for the day. So once I kind of get a bearing for my day, I go right here to my Wordle. It's always the first thing I do each day. Still, I don't know if anybody else still plays it, but I love to do it. Maybe right away in the morning isn't the best time to do this, but it's still one of those things that I do right away every day. Then I'm gonna scroll down and you can see that I have my morning check-in, my today's agenda, and my evening check-in. And I'm not even gonna touch my evening check-in yet. I'm only gonna look at my morning check-in, and I like to look at today's agenda too, just to get an idea of what my tasks are for the day. Now, I actually plan my tasks out weekly, so I never do any daily planning per se. It's more just of like a daily check-in to see what's going on each day. Personally, I love this method because I can kind of just wake up and see what's on my to-do list because I've already done that high-level overview of what my week is going to look like. I know it was on my calendar, so I could plan around that, and it works really great for me. I have to say, any more planning ahead than a week probably wouldn't work because events pop up, things happen, but at least when I do my weekly planning, I can kind of account for most of that. So I can kind of check in and see what tasks I have to do that day, what's going on. Some of these were left over from yesterday that I didn't get to, but I'm in progress on a couple of them, and I think some of these are going to be easy to knock out. But my biggest priority today is batching content because it's a Tuesday, and that's what I do on Tuesdays. So after I kind of look at what my day is going to hold for me, I then come up here and do my morning check-in. I like to include my bedtime just so I can calculate how long I was asleep and whether or not I went to bed at the time that I want to, which I can tell you right now, I did not last night. We went to bed pretty late, and because of that, I set my alarm for my later alarm this morning, so 7:30 was the wake-up time. Then I like to do a morning journal, and I have one habit here in the morning that I check off, and that's whether or not I ate something within 30 minutes of waking up. That's something I have gotten into the habit of doing just for my hormone health, and my little warm latte in the morning counts for that because it is very calorie packed. So I'm gonna say I went ahead and ate something, and then I click this button to make a new morning journal. Inside my morning journal, I like to write down some gratitudes and affirmation for the day, and then just check in with myself. How am I feeling today? What's weighing on my mind? What can I do to further my goal? And that's just kind of how I get centered and know what's going on for my day and how I am feeling. Once I filled out my journal, I go ahead and come here to this morning journal section, and I just go ahead and link that journal, and that kind of marks that I have done it for that specific habit because that is a habit that I want to be doing. Instead of just it being like a normal checkbox, I like to actually say like, yes, I did my journal and here's the journal that I did. So that's it for my morning check-in. It's pretty simple and not super involved. And now that I have done that, I'm gonna go ahead and have breakfast with my husband and get ready for the day. All right, I am back and ready for the day now, and it is time to get to work. Now, I do a lot of my work inside of Notion because that is what a lot of my job has to do with. But even if you don't work in Notion for a living, you can still use it the way that I'm going to show you to use it today. I'm not necessarily going to always be actively working inside of Notion, but what I want to do is have my Notion open so I can see what I'm going to be doing and working on throughout the day. So think of it more as your daily reference. You can keep a tab open on your computer as you're working on other things, or have a link to your daily planning page on your phone so it's easily accessible. Whatever that might look like, it is totally up to you. So if you are an entrepreneur or you do work from home, something that I have started doing recently is implementing theme days. Basically, what this means is that Monday, I'm working on some more personal home tasks that need to be done. Tuesday and Thursday are my content days. Wednesdays are days that I work on my back end systems. And then Friday is just a day to catch up on anything that I didn't get to. Then in the afternoons, I'm working on client work so I can kind of keep that separate and stay on top of all of my projects. I keep my theme days written down on my whiteboard next to my desk so I can see it easily, and then also in the time blocking section in my weekly planning so that when I am doing my weekly planning, I can reference that and remember what I'm doing on each day. So today is a Tuesday, which means it's content day. If I'm in my daily planning page and I scroll down to my agenda for the day, check in with my biz tasks, I can see that I am batching content and then working on this video that I am filming for you right now. So I'm quickly going to show you my content hub that I use inside of Notion. I am going to do a full video on this very soon, but for now, this is just to get an overview of how I use Notion for my content planning. So in the middle of my content planner, I have like the actual calendar that shows me what I am posting when. And then over here on the left-hand side, I have a little hub for each of the socials that I use so I can check in on those, as well as a place to plan my email, newsletters, and campaigns. Today, I'm actually going to be working on batching my content, so I can come here to the content batching page and see all of the content that I need to do and where it is in the process. So I have my pieces of content that I'm writing here, ones that need media still, some that may be editing, like I need to go through the captions again or the media again. And then these are the ones that have already been published, and after about a month, those are going to age off. I also actually include a view of this on my daily planning page itself. So here under today's agenda, if I just want to come right here to my content status to see what's going on, I can easily reference my content by seeing where it is in the process as well and work from this page if I want to. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and work on writing some of my social posts and creating some media. All right, I am finished with my content for today and just eaten lunch, so we're about halfway through the day now. And sometimes I like to take a break in the middle of the day to read my book for a little bit because I do fiction before bed, but nonfiction I cannot focus and I like to take notes when I do that. So during the day is a great time to do that. I'll usually take a 30-minute break during the day to read for a little bit. And what's super nice about that is on my daily planning page right here, I have a quick link to my reading list. So if I open up my reading list, I can see all of the books that I am currently reading at the moment. And right now I've been working through this book, which is actually a very good book. I was a little sketched out by the cover, but it's a good book. And inside the page that I have for that book, I can make notes about all of the chapters that I'm reading so I can remember them for later. Now, I don't love reading at my desk. I usually go outside, take a break, and what's super cool is I can take my phone out there with me, make my notes for my book on my phone, and not have to worry about dragging my laptop all over the place. Having the Notion mobile app is such a big win for me here because I don't have to change anything about my routine and my preferences. I can still do what I would normally do because I can take my phone with me and work on things from there. Now, my afternoons are dedicated towards client work, and that is specifically building out Notion workspaces for other people. To be so honest with you, I'm still trying to decide how I want to track these projects within Notion itself, but I do have a special page for each of my builds so I can write down to-dos for it, areas that I need to add to their build, and then also specify what their specific processes are that I need to convert into their workspace. So again, as I'm working, I am using this page as a reference to make sure that I am getting everything that I need to done, even though I'm not necessarily working in the page itself. Now, once I have finished my client work for the day, my day is pretty much over. There are 2 more things that I want to do, and those are doing a workout and doing some cleaning around the house. When I'm ready to do my workout, I have it linked right here in my daily overview under the health section. And if I click on this, I can just go right to that page and grab the URL to the YouTube video that I'm using for the workout. Sometimes I use my phone, sometimes I take my laptop with me. It totally depends on my mood for that day. But either way, I know how to get to my workout super quickly and easily. Then lastly, for my cleaning tasks, I have a section under my today's agenda specifically for cleaning tasks. So I have 2 things to do, sweeping the floor and vacuuming the carpet today. And the way I actually handle my cleaning tasks is that I have recurring tasks in my task database that are set to repeat however often I want to do that specific cleaning task. Now, I don't just let these blindly repeat because then I'd have no idea what I was doing each day. But instead, I actually allow them to repeat into my brain dump space in my weekly planning, as you can see here. And then I still go ahead and take the time to assign them an actual due date. So once they populate into the cleaning section of my top priorities list, I just go ahead and drag and drop them onto the day that I want to do them so that I can make sure I'm planning around any activities that might be going on for the week or any specific days that might be more task heavy than others. For more on this process, you can check out my 2024 Notion tour video, and I walk through how I do my weekly planning there. So essentially each day I know exactly what I'm going to be doing for my cleaning, and that makes it super easy for me to just go and do that. Now, the very last thing that I do each day is my evening check-in, and while it's not quite evening yet, I want to go ahead and go over that so you guys get an idea of what I do. So if I pop open my evening check-in, I have a very similar setup to what I have for my morning check-in, where I can check off the habits that I completed for the day, do an evening journal, and then write down what drained me and what excited me. This is just something I like to keep track of so that I can include more of what excites me and less of what drained me. Once I check in on those sections, I can see what to expect right here for tomorrow. I can see that I have some tasks I need to accomplish, and then also I can see if I have any meal prep that needs to be done, so that I can take care of that and not forget about it. And then I also have my tasks showing here at the bottom in a weekly view, so that if I start finding that my tasks are piling up from previous days, like as in yesterday, I missed a couple of tasks here, I can just easily go and move them over. So like, let's say I don't get to editing my video today that I am filming, which I probably will not. So I can just bump this over to tomorrow's tasks. Some things I don't bother doing that with if I know that they're in progress or it might take me a couple days to do it. I just leave it as is. But otherwise, I try to keep my tasks as up to date and realistic as possible so that I have a high chance of actually achieving them. As you can see, my Notion setup is very customized to my personal routine, which makes it incredibly easy for me to use Notion throughout the day. Whether that's tracking habits, writing notes for the book that I'm reading, or checking off things from my to-do list. And hopefully this gave you an idea of how you can build Notion around your unique routine. Now, if you like my routine or my Notion setup, you can totally adopt it. The exact template that I use is available in my template shop, and I will leave the link for you down below. If you want to learn more about what's inside that template, be sure to watch my 2024 Notion tour next so you can see the ins and outs of the full planning system. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.